Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle with Damn Fancy Creations, and today I have another fruit themed tumbler for you guys to learn how to make. Fruit just seems to be everywhere during spring and summer. It's on clothes, picnic supplies, all kinds of stuff. So I decided that I wanted to run with that theme and make a few fruit themed tumblers. And today's fruit is lemons. I love lemons. They are probably my favorite fruit flavor. Lemon pie, lemon candy, lemon bars, all that kind of stuff. I even used to eat lemons when I was really little, and then my dad told me that it would make me grow hair on my chest, so I stopped eating them. So thanks, Dad. So this tumbler is super fun. It is basically covered in lemons, and then we are going to go add some gold leaf bands all the way around the cup that just kind of gives it a little bit of a classy feel versus the cutesy feel. And I really love how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. So if you are ready to see how I create this tumbler, let's get started. Alright, so the very first thing I'm going to show you guys how to do is print and then cut out the lemons that we're going to be using. So first we're going to go over to our page setup, and we're going to select the paper size. The mat you still want to leave 12 by 12, which I messed up on to begin with. And then the media size is going to be 8.5 by 11 because that is the size of our printable vinyl. Then we are going to turn the registration marks on and move the inset all the way over. This will give us the biggest cutting room that we can have. Then I am going to turn off the grid. This way you can see the red line a little bit better, so you know exactly where you can place your images. So these are all images that I purchased either from Creative Fabrica or Creative Market. I do have commercial use for them. You definitely want to make sure that any images that you are using on tumblers that you do have the right to sell, because you don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement. So after I have added all of the different images that I know I want to use, I am going to resize them. I think that I did these about an inch. Each lemon was about an inch. So of course the ones where it has 2 lemons or the bunch of lemons are going to be a little bit bigger than that. And I just copied and pasted a bunch of these because I wasn't quite sure how many I was going to need. I did end up using all of them. So my cup was definitely covered with a lot of different lemons. And you guys can see that whenever I do print and cut, I will turn, rotate, flip the different images so that I can cram as many images as I can on one sheet, because I don't want to waste my vinyl. And I think somebody is cutting down a tree in the neighborhood beside mine. So if you can hear that in the video, I apologize. I'm trying to film this outside so you get the ambiance of the birds, but we have somebody cutting down trees. Anyway, so once I get all my lemons arranged how I want them on my paper, I will scroll up and hit print. And it will pop up a preview so you can make sure that everything is within the cut lines. And if everything looks good, then you can hit print. And this will pop up your printer dialog box. I just do it on photo and best quality so that it prints out the best image. And then it will print out your page on your printer. And then you will take that page from your printer, load it on your cutting mat, and then we will send it to our Cameo. So once we hit send, it will pop up this page. And mine was going a little bit slow for some reason today. So you can see that all of our lemons are outlined. I usually cut by line or fill color. And I have the printable vinyl setting I used saved under my saved settings. I usually use it on Force 24. That will cut all the way through the vinyl. It will not leave the backing still attached. So this way I can just gather all my little lemons together. So once we have all of our lemons cut out, I'm going to start prepping my cup. I spray painted it white and then spray painted it with Seaside, I believe. It is a matte color. I pretty much use matte for all of my tumbler colors if I can find them because it does dry the quickest. And then I really just peeled the backing off of my printable vinyl and placed the lemons where I wanted. I separated them by style so that I knew how many circle lemons I had, how many half lemons I had, things like that. And my dog is barking at my neighbors who are cooking out in their backyard. You guys are getting to hear all sorts of sounds today. So I pretty much just placed them wherever. I didn't have a rhyme or reason, but I did kind of place, the 2 lemon pair next to single lemons or half lemons next to lemons with leaves, just so you didn't have all of the lemons with leaves in one section and then all of the lemons that were single in one section. And do keep in mind that these will have gold bands wrapped around them. So you don't want the gold bands to overlap a big section of lemons and then have an empty space where there is no gold, if that makes sense. And when you are applying your lemons, make sure that all of the backing and little white spaces are peeled off of them. A few of the little white areas in between the bunches of lemons kind of stuck on there, so I had to peel them off. And I did add a small one to the bottom just to give it a little bit more interest. And once you get all your lemons placed on there, I am going to epoxy 1 or 2 times so everything is very smooth for when we apply our gold leaf. So when we apply our gold leaf, I am going to use a glue stick, painter's tape, and some gold leaf. So this has already been epoxied. You can tell by the shiny finish. And I am just going to eyeball my lines. So I applied one piece of painter's tape to the very top of the tumbler, and then I applied one a few millimeters below that one. And the blank space that you see where you can see the lemon print peeking through, that is where our gold leaf is going to go. So I am just going to do this all the way down our tumbler. And I had to let my dogs out really quick. And I'm back. So I just line up the stripes just as best I can. This one I believe is a 30-ounce straight tumbler, so there was no taper, which made it really easy to match up my tape lines. And once we're done with that, I'm going to put my tumbler on a sheet of white paper, which makes it easier to catch any of the gold leaf that may fall off. And I just run my glue stick along these blank lines. And then I will pat down the gold leaf. I just basically peel some sheets off and then pat them down. I like working with the sheets better than the flakes for instances like this, because you can get the gold leaf pretty smooth. So you're not going to have like just clumps of gold leaf that you may get if you use flakes. And I am just basically going to do this all the way around the tumbler. And I did apply this one with gold leaf. If you guys watched my tumbler covered in oranges tutorial, I did use quick coat for that. And each method, you know, has its pros and cons. I do like the glue stick because obviously it's not going to run down the tumbler, but it does dry really quickly, so you do have to work pretty fast. So it really just depends on what you guys like better. I just like to show you different ways how to apply it, and you guys can kind of pick your favorite. In my other tutorial where I apply gold leaf, I actually use double-sided tape, which is another way that you can apply it. That is my flamingo video. So those are 3 different ways you can apply it, and you can just pick your favorite and go from there. Or you can do a combination of all 3. So once I'm done with the front side, I just roll my tumbler over and do the exact same thing on the other side. I was having to be very sparing with my glue stick because I was at the very end of my tube and I could not find any of the others that I had. Crafter problems. And now we are finally finished with the gold leaf. That is probably the most time-consuming part of this whole tumbler, just applying all this gold leaf. So what I will do next is brush off all the gold leaf. I couldn't decide if I wanted to peel the tape off first and then brush it off, but I decided to brush it all off first and then peel off the tape. And I'm not being, super gentle with this. I do like the distressed look of the gold leaf. So I was a little bit rough with it. And I just turn and brush all the way up the tumbler. And this is why I have the paper underneath, because we are brushing off a lot of gold leaf, and I will typically save this and add it to my gold flake bag. So I can still use the gold flakes for other things. And now I will peel off the tape. And I do go fairly quickly with this. I am a little bit careful just because I don't want to peel off a huge chunk of gold leaf. So I just kind of carefully make sure that none of the gold leaf is coming up with the tape. So as soon as I started peeling the tape off, I loved how this tumbler was looking. Just the whole teal and yellow and gold color combo I really, really liked. Then I went around the tumbler and pressed down any of the gold leaf that may have been sticking up, and then I spray sealed it really well with clear spray paint. And for this next step, you can either epoxy your tumbler or you can just make sure everything is sealed in really well, which I think is what I did. And then we're going to apply our vinyl and water slide. I did apply my white frame on top of my gold frame with water. That way, if I needed to peel it off or move it around, I could do that a lot easier. I did get a small water bubble trapped underneath there, but I did have a little push pin handy. So I just poked a little tiny hole in there and then squeezed out the water, and it was good to go. And I am just doing this by eyeballing it. I did not have any transfer tape down close to me, so that's why I'm not using any. And I kind of hold it on top of my tumbler first to see where I want it. And then I press down in the middle, smooth down one side, and then smooth down the other side. And again, instead of epoxying this, I am just going to spray this frame with clear spray paint. That way it has a glossy underneath finish, and you will not be able to see the lines of our water slide when we apply it. So we are going to damp our frame, and then my water slide has already been sitting for a little bit, so the backing is already releasing. And we're just going to slide that onto our frame. And then you can maneuver it and make sure that you get it straight. I had a tiny piece of glitter stuck underneath my water slide, so I did have to peel it up and get that piece of glitter out from underneath it. and then I smoothed it back down. And then I just take my clean microfiber cloth and squeeze out any water that may be underneath the water slide. And I kind of moved it around a couple times. Sometimes when the bottom font is a bouncy font, it's hard to really see how straight it is on the tumbler. But I just gently smooth out the water slide to get all of the water out from underneath it. I will typically let my water slides sit for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I will epoxy. You can kind of feel when they get dry, and that is pretty much it. I will put this back on my turner and apply another 2 layers of epoxy, and we are good to go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I had fun making it, and I can't wait to see what you guys create. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, and tutorials, be sure to find my Facebook group that is linked in the description. Thanks for watching.